In 1989, Jimmy Johnson was hired by Cowboys owner Jerry Jones as the successor to Tom Landry.
I'm proud to be the head football coach for the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm excited to be the head football coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
5 years later, Johnson was gone.
In order for them to go on from here, we have mutually decided that I would no longer be the head football coach with the Dallas Cowboys.
In between, Johnson and Jones made history, turning a 1-15 team into two-time Super Bowl champions.
The Cowboys are back on top of the mountain now. They were there in the 70s, fell off in the 80s. They're back on top now, and they should stay there a while. Wow.
You know, Jerry and I, of course, went to school together at the University of Arkansas and finished our playing days there. And then we kept in contact somewhat throughout the years. He went into business, and I went into football. And when we talked about me coming to the Cowboys, he said, we're taking over the worst team in the league right now. He said, you handle football, I'll handle business, and we'll make sports history.
No one thought the oil man and college coach could reach NFL prosperity so quickly. And no one could have predicted the two would part ways after back-to-back world championships. Their fractured relationship was one of the distractions the 1993 Cowboys would have to overcome in defending their Super Bowl title.
Coach, what'd you do with your summer vacation?
What summer vacation? I don't take vacations. Let's go, let's go! Beautiful day in Austin.
Training camp under Jimmy Johnson was always a grind, especially the summer after the Cowboys won the Super Bowl.
In order to win back-to-back, you've got to work them, because if you don't, they'll become complacent.
Into it now, into it. Everybody's into it. Let the mind control the body, not the body control the mind.
Oh, gosh. Training camp was never fun.
Oh, yeah, Bill doesn't even have an earring. He's from the old school, you know. Bad to the bone.
Bill Bates, number 40, was the Cowboys' special teams captain and one of the few holdovers from the Landry era. Bates was a true throwback who seemed willing to run through a brick wall, which is probably why Johnson kept him around.
My first impression of Bill was we were practicing in shorts, and here we had Herschel Walker, who was our only Pro Bowler, and he broke the line of scrimmage. It was supposed to be kind of like two-hand touch, and here comes Bill across the field, and he just lays out Herschel right there with no pads on. I said, man, yeah, he's either crazy or he's extremely physical, and he was extremely physical.
Oh, excuse me, buddy. You okay? You okay?
I don't usually take clothes like that.
I know it. I know it. You okay? Put the hat back on. Yeah, he got nailed.
After suffering a knee injury in 1992, Bates was denied the glory of playing in the Super Bowl, a fate he was determined to avoid in 1993.
I was so focused on rehabbing and doing everything I could do physically to get back to the Super Bowl.
Here we go, here we go, here we go! Sharp now, sharp. Like a well-oiled machine. I told the team, I said, hey, we had a great team last year. We won the Super Bowl. Now, they've got to think about this, and they've got to give it some thought and not let it just go in one ear and out the other. Are they going to be better as an individual before next season? Right there, right there! Get it now, bees! Oh, ball! Come on, Judd! Hold on that damn football!
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Treat a person as he is, and he will remain as he is. Treat a person as if he were what he could be and should be, and he will become what he could be and should be.
There we go. There's a nice tackle. There you go, Dixon. There you go, Dixon. That's the way to stick it in there. Nice job of wrapping him up. All right. That's why to protect the ball, Judd. Run through him now. Good job, Dixon.
I honestly believe that's the key to a great coach. Understanding your players, not only understanding them, but putting your players in the position to make the plays.
14-13, 10 seconds to go. We're behind the Redskins, RFK. All right, let's go, Lynn. We got to have it. Got a little wind behind you, got a little wind to the left. You got to be concerned about it. Let's go, Lynn. Focus in. Can you make it? Here we go. It's all on the line. That's the way to hit it. Good job, Lynn. Perfect. Right down the middle. Perfect, Lynn. Cowboys win, as always.
I treated our football team as winners. I treated them as a championship team because that's where we were headed.
But heading back to the Super Bowl would be difficult for Dallas without one of its best players.
Where are you headed?
Super Bowl.
Get in.
Hey, it's a nice jacket.
Thanks. Nice shoes.
One potential roadblock for the Cowboys on their trip to the Super Bowl was the contract holdout of Emmitt Smith.
I thought I earned the right and deserved the right to be paid as the highest paid running back at the time in the National Football League because of my performance. Leading the league in rushing, going to the Pro Bowl 2 straight years, and now we're coming off a Super Bowl season. But Jerry and I did not see eye to eye. Kind of was like pulling teeth.
Cowboys owner Jerry Jones was unwilling to make Emmitt the highest paid running back in the NFL, a distinction held by Detroit's Barry Sanders. So Emmitt held out. In training camp, he was replaced by a 4th-round draft pick named Derek Lassick.
So, Lassick, we got to find out for sure what he can do. All right, Derek, all right, Derek, all right, Derek. See that soft spot? A little more quickness. Got to make that cut, Derek. Come on, Derek. Come on, Derek. A little bit more power. A little bit more power, Derek. Good cut on the thing, but run through him, Derek.
August turned to September, and still there was no new contract for Emmitt Smith. In a year with high expectations, no one thought the season could start without number 22.
I probably did a very poor job of getting our team ready because me being naive and thinking that he was going to be there for the first game, I prepared the team to play with Emmitt Smith. And when he was not there for the first game, I was in disarray, and we did not play very well.
Derek Lassick playing as a rookie wasn't getting it done. Everybody knew that we needed Emmitt back.
I wasn't pointing fingers at Jerry or Emmitt. I just wanted it to be resolved.
Without Emmitt, Dallas lost again a week later, this time at home in a Super Bowl rematch against the Buffalo Bills.
Throws, and it's broken up.
Suddenly, the Cowboys were in full crisis.
I just remembered that, we were, inefficient offensively, and our kicker missed a couple of kicks that could have won the game. I remember it was Lynn Elliott. He came over on the sideline, and I said something to him. He said, "Coach," he said, "I've just lost my confidence." Well, that's all I needed to hear. I cut him and got me a new kicker.
After the game, Charles Ailey just throws his helmet across the locker room, knocks a hole in the wall, and hey, we've got it. We can't win without Emmitt.
Oh, boy.
With pressure mounting from all sides, Jerry Jones made the deal. Emmitt got his new contract, and the Cowboys' new life.
Now it's Emmitt Smith time.
Sorry, got in the season a little bit late. But I think we can put this thing together, go on and win it all.
No team in NFL history has ever started 0-2 and go on to win the Super Bowl.
First down at the 20. The 15, he's gone. First touchdown of the year for Emmitt Smith. 22 yards for number 22.
With Emmitt back in the fold, Dallas ran off 4 wins in a row.
Sweep to Smith on a toss right, great block. Cuts to the 15, left to the 2-and-8 block to the 10. Emmitt Smith to the 5, stiff arm to the goal line. Touchdown, Emmitt Smith.
On Halloween, the 4-2 Cowboys traveled to Veterans Stadium, their own personal house of horrors, with the chance to move into first place in their division.
So 6 years, we only won 1 game here.
I never enjoyed playing in Philadelphia.
Rainy Philadelphia, gotta love it.
They call it the city of brotherly love. You get no love in Philly. everybody in the stadium. It's totally against you.
In a hostile environment, Emmitt Smith and the Cowboys gutted the Eagles with a basic running play, the lead draw.
It's the play that everybody tried to stop but couldn't figure out truly how to stop it.
Emmitt, did he go right or left?
Straight down the pipe on the last one.
When we first got him, we tried to run him on sweeps, and he really wasn't a good sweep runner. He's more of an inside runner. So the lead draw was our bread and butter.
In a lead draw, the center and guard block down on the defensive tackle. The fullback leads through the hole, and Emmitt runs to daylight.
It was definitely one of our plays where we as players, when we called it, we expected something big to happen.
All right.
Smith finished the night with 237 yards, and Dallas improved to 5-2.
And off Smith, straight up the middle, and he may be gone. He's got the 50, he's got the 40, he's got the 20. Eric Allen chases the 5, 62-yard touchdown, Emmitt Smith.
Hey, goal number 2, baby.
In Week 10, the Dallas Cowboys beat the New York Giants for their 6th straight win. A victory that came with a price.
Flushed out by Keith Hamilton running to the right sideline and trips. Fell down. He hurt himself. Aikman's hurt at the 50-yard line.
Troy Aikman injured his hamstring and was out for 4 weeks. Without a veteran quarterback on the roster, the Cowboys turned to Bernie Kosar, who had recently been cut by the Cleveland Browns.
When Kosar was released, my time with him at the University of Miami, I knew that he was a very intelligent player and he could come in and help our football team. And in fact, I even picked him up at the airport and I said, "Can you learn the offense in a week?"
3 days later, Kosar was starting against the Cardinals.
Bernie stepped right in, calling plays, drawing plays up in the dirt, because he can't call the whole system out, tell the individual players what routes to run, and led us to victory.
Kosar may not have known all the plays, but he knew where to go with the ball.
Spins across the 25 and breaks a tackle. And he's on the 40, and he's going down the far sideline to the 15, to the 10, to the 5, and he's rolled out.
Without question, he helped our football team in that difficult stretch.
During that stretch, it seemed the only way the Cowboys could lose was if they beat themselves, or by some freak happenstance. Both occurred against the Miami Dolphins on Thanksgiving Day. It was snowing in Texas.
It was obviously a crazy day because here you got snow Thanksgiving in Dallas. And of course, I hate cold weather and I hate snow. And so that should have been an omen right there.
We fought a very tough football game against Miami that day. And late in the game, we ended up going ahead.
Intercepted by Bill Bates.
I mean, that was a lot of sliding. It was a fun game to play until the end of the game.
Miami's trying to go in and kick a field goal with less than 15 seconds, I believe, left in the game. And if they make it, game's over. If they miss it, we win. We blocked the field goal.
It's a 41-yarder. It's a first down kick, and it's blocked. It's blocked and rolling around at the 10-yard line.
You can see the ball spinning around on the white snow. And everybody's saying, "Get away, Peter, Peter, Peter," meaning stay away from the ball, stay away from the ball. And all of a sudden you see one white jersey with a star on it come running out of nowhere.
Yes! Oh, Leon Lett! Leon Lett! Oh, my goodness gracious. I think they get another shot. This is Miami's ball.
Miami recovers the ball at the 1-yard line, so they get another shot. This time, field goal good, we lose the game.
After that game, I felt so bad for Leon, and we couldn't find Leon. Where was he? And he was probably going to go kill himself.
I was looking for Leon. Leon was back in the training room, and big old 275, 280-pounder, you know, tears in his eyes, and he's afraid he's going to get cut. And you know, I grabbed him there in the training room. I said, Leon, I said, hey, yeah, you made a mistake, but there were all kinds of mistakes in that game, and you know, you don't worry about it, because as long as I'm here, you're going to be a Dallas Cowboy.
Leon was really upset about it, and I never forget a girl from one of the schools had sent him a note and said, gosh, Leon, don't worry about it. Last year during the Super Bowl, there was this guy that was going in to score a touchdown and had the ball ripped out of his hands right before he scored.
It's not going to be a touchdown. No, it's not.
So don't worry about it. People make mistakes all the time. They happen to be the same guy.
It was going to be a 62-yard touchdown return by Leon Lett.
Oh, Leon!
The loss to Miami dropped the Cowboys behind the Giants in the NFC East. Worse still, rumors began to circulate that they might lose their head coach at the end of the season. With the league set to add 2 new franchises, word leaked that Jimmy Johnson was considering leaving Dallas to become the head coach in Jacksonville. Naturally, this upset owner Jerry Jones, who had just renewed Johnson's contract.
I believe that rumor got back to Jerry, and Jerry said that, well, maybe he ought to fire Coach Johnson for those reasons.
You know, Jerry said, for instance, that, hey, if somebody came calling, and this was referred back to me by Roy, saying he should say, hey, I'm not interested. It's very, very easy not to be interested when you own the Dallas Cowboys and you have multi-millions of dollars. I mean, if you're a working stiff like I am, and like a lot of people are, you know, obviously you look at things. And so
Johnson often used the media as a means to send a message, whether it was to Jerry Jones or more often to his players.
If our players hear it through you and it makes them play better, you know, then I've accomplished what I set out to do.
It's just that I was aware of anything that I was saying to the media or anything that I was doing was going to go right back to the players. And so when I talked to the press, I just kind of visualized that I was talking to the team.
What I'm having right now, I'm having a nice team meeting. Yeah.
The former psychology major also employed more direct means of motivation. After a lackadaisical win over the Minnesota Vikings in Week 15, Johnson ripped into his players.
I was infuriated at the team because we played so poorly. We won, but we weren't preparing ourselves for the playoffs.
Coach Johnson made us feel like we had lost the game by 40 points, and he'd gotten in Charles Haley's face and said he wasn't playing hard enough.
Charles came in late after I'd already started my speech to the players, and I screamed at him, and he didn't like me screaming at him, and I told him to, in so many words, to get right over here, you know, at this spot and right next to me, and he didn't like it, and I had to say it again, and so finally he got over there, but he was really upset with me because I singled him out.
Did he ever get in your face?
Yes, it happened. It happened one time where he made me mad, but then he came back and said to me, you know I had to do that, don't you? And I said, yeah, I understand. He said, you understand why I did it? He said, because I want everybody around here to know that if I can get on my superstar players, that they don't have a chance. Jimmy had a way of pushing the right buttons at the right time and a way of keeping his ball club focused.
The Cowboys had won their last 4 games to improve to 11-4, but their hopes for a division title came down to the final week of the regular season in New York.
Emmitt, hearts up tonight, Emmitt! You're going to get hammered all day, Emmitt!
We needed to win this game against the Giants in order to secure home field advantage and secure that bye week.
We had a lot of guys hurt. We needed to recover, and getting a week off before the playoffs started was vital to our team.
All right, let's go now. Get after your ass. Let's go.
The Giants didn't make it easy. Right before the half, I get a handoff, cut on the right side, and I'm off to the races. I'm not the fastest guy in the world. I'm not the biggest guy in the world, but I'm running. And Greg Jackson come up on my left side, grab me, ride me down to the ground, and instant pain. Something happened in my shoulder that I never felt before.
Smith is down. Emmitt Smith is down at the Giants' 30.
They take me to the locker room before the half. They take x-rays of my shoulder, and they recognize that I have a separated shoulder. And they get very creative. They get a set of knee pads that you normally put in your pants. They tape them together, and they kind of cut a hole in the middle of them, and they place it up on my shoulder and tape it to my shoulder. Put my shoulder pads back on, and they say, now you're gonna have some discomfort.
In the second half, Emmitt carried the Cowboys in a moment that defined a team's season and a player's career.
It was just a different kind of pain. And every time I got hit, every time I hit the turf, all I could hear, just cracks just happening all in my chest and my shoulder. That's what it sounded like. I'm sitting out on the football field saying to myself, no pain, no pain. I'm just talking to myself, no pain. And tears are rolling out my eyes. I'm just trying to convince myself that there's no pain. But I'm feeling all the pain.
In overtime, Emmitt pushed the Cowboys into field goal range.
To see him fight through the pain that he had inspired us all.
They'll never forget the day Emmitt Smith ran 32 times for 170 yards and caught 10 balls for 62 and did most of it with one arm.
Field goal, field goal.
Here we go. 41 yards, good snap. The hold is up. The kick's on the way. Cowboys win. What a great game.
Weeks ago, we had a little meeting after Thanksgiving, and we said this: if you lay it on the line and you win out, you'll win the division second year in a row, and that'll give us a hell of a shot to get to where we want to go. Hey, you've been under the gun, you've been under the pressure, you had to do it on the road. One hell of a job.
Although Emmitt Smith's shoulder was not nearly 100%, the Cowboys easily beat the Green Bay Packers in the divisional playoffs. For the second straight year, they would face the San Francisco 49ers for the NFC Championship. Jimmy Johnson decided to give his team a little extra motivation.
My wife, Rhonda, at that time, my girlfriend, Rhonda, and I, we were going to go have some Italian dinner. And I was listening to the radio. They were debating about who's going to win the game, San Francisco or Dallas, et cetera, et cetera. And so I said, well, I'll just solve this right here and now. And so I called in. I said,
We will win the ball game. And you can put it in 3-inch headlines. We will win the ball game.
I didn't think that it would cause that much uproar. The next morning, I did see Emmitt, and Emmitt said, well, Coach, he said, you wrote a check. I guess we're going to have to cash it.
That's Coach Johnson's way. You know what I mean? He comes in and says, hey, this is what we will do, period. And hey, if you hear that enough, you be like, yeah, we will do this and we will do that. I mean, it's just an attitude, and that's what he installs in us.
Maybe it was the Pygmalion effect and the self-fulfilling prophecy. I know this. It irritated San Francisco players. Probably one of the classiest players that's ever played the game, Jerry Rice. I guess they were so hyped up about it. He takes a swing at our defensive back and gets a 15-yard penalty to start the ball game off. And so it evidently had a negative effect on San Francisco, but it rallied our guys to give them more confidence that they're going to win the game.
Y'all got Terry out of the game. Y'all got Terry out of the game.
Johnson's bravado had the desired effect. The Cowboys knocked Steve Young and the Niners off their game.
Sets. They shot Haley over the middle. The ball's intercepted by Everett on a deflection to the 30, to the 24-yard line.
With a 21-point lead, a Dallas victory seemed all but assured, right up until the second play of the third quarter.
It's the NFC Championship game. One game away from Super Bowl. We win it. We're trying to close the game out. And all of a sudden, Troy dropped back to pass. And a guy kind of like dives over his head, but his knee grazes his helmet. Look like a graze, but it catches him in the helmet. Totally just sent him straight to a whole nother planet.
And Aikman is woozy, walking around holding his head. He stays in, but Aikman is shaken up.
He stayed in the game and called the next play. And then we ended up going to the sideline, and then they just said Troy had a concussion. And he was just like in the middle of no man's land.
Once more, the Cowboys called on Bernie Kosar. And once more, Kosar delivered.
Kosar back to throw, short slant. Oh, Harper caught it, he's breaking away. 20, he's going to score to the 5, touchdown. Dallas is going to win the NFC Championship again, and the Cowboys aren't the least bit surprised. Their coach told them this would happen.
Jimmy said we would win the game, didn't we? Hey, 3-inch bold letters. Hey, I was guaranteed to win, right? I guess we cashed that check today.
Yeah. Now, I've been doing a lot of talking, but the things that you said, if you're going to talk the talk, you got to walk the walk. Hey, thanks to you guys, y'all did the walking, all right? Hey, and one thing, this week I'm not going to say a word. You know how I feel, but I'm not going to say a word, but I will say one thing right now. How about them Cowboys?
Dallas was headed back to its second straight Super Bowl, but doubts lingered about the health of its starting quarterback. The Dallas Cowboys arrived in Atlanta for the Super Bowl, reflecting the cool confidence their coach had shown them a week earlier.
Hi, Atlanta.
Biggest concern I had was getting my Corvette to Atlanta, because I was going to take my car down to the Keys after the ball game.
Make sure they take my golf club to the hotel.
It was a little different. It was kind of like one of those things, okay, I've been here before, so I know what to expect, and this is no big deal.
What up, fellas?
But the one thing that kind of irked me a little bit, early in that week, I'm riding with my marketing guys, and they have some good news that they want to share with Mr. Smith. They share this news. Guess who's going to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated this week? This is the week of the Super Bowl. I'm like, who? Thurman Thomas? Jim Kelly? I'm like, no, you. They all excited. I'm like, oh, no. Have y'all lost y'all mind? Get me off the cover. I'm like, man, this is Sports Illustrated jinx. This is not the week to put me on the cover. Stop the press. Then Warren say, well, dog, I suggest you do one thing. I said, what's that? He said, I suggest you change your attitude. I looked him in the eye and said, you know what? I said, you're right. You're right. I said, I'm going to beat the jinx this week. We're going to beat the jinx.
The Cowboys only had a week to prepare for Super Bowl 28, and there was concern over the health of their quarterback. Troy Aikman spent the night after the championship game in the hospital, unable to remember a single play before or after his concussion.
This is the first time that this has happened, and staying in the hospital was very frustrating just because I felt that I was ready to go home around 3 o'clock, but I actually wasn't because I still wasn't making much sense. It's very unlikely that I'll ever be able to recall what happened.
We were definitely worried that Troy wasn't going to be able to play in the game, and I know Bernie took the majority of the snaps during practice that week.
As an added distraction, Jimmy Johnson hinted loudly that his long-term future with the Cowboys was very much up in the air.
I don't have any thought right now that I'll be doing anything else, but I'm not 100% going to do anything. I go like a racehorse as hard as I can for as long as I can, but I'm not concerned about doing it for 29 years.
Let's go.
For this week at least, Johnson was focused on preparing his team for the Buffalo Bills.
I made my first presentation to the players, and I said, guys, just think about this. We are the best team. I said, if we played out here on the practice field with nobody watching, no pressure on you, I said, we'd beat the hell out of them, and I think you know that. I said, it's all in your mind. I said, if I put a 2x4 here on this floor, and I say, walk this 2x4, every one of you, you'd be able to start at one end and end up the other. Big guys, little guys, there'd be no problem. I said, if I put this 2x4 up about 15 feet, and I say, walk this 2x4, then your thought process is, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. And what's going to happen? You fall. And I said, so when you think about playing the Super Bowl, you don't think about millions of people watching you. You don't put that kind of pressure on yourself. You keep the thought process that you're on the practice field and nobody's watching, and you're the best team, so you win.
This was easier said than done, especially for Bill Bates, whose knee injury kept him from participating in the previous Super Bowl.
I'm trying to keep from hyperventilating before the kickoff. I might just pass out right now.
So here we are again, same time next year. The Dallas Cowboys and the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl.
That's it, baby. Last one again, baby. Last one. All or nothing.
Troy Aikman started the game, but he clearly was not himself.
Aikman, straight drop. Here comes Bruce. He steps up deep ball to the middle. It's intercepted. And the Buffalo Bills have come to play in this Super Bowl.
Come on, let's go. Keep your head in the ball game. Let's go.
But Dallas was helped by something Jimmy Johnson learned earlier in the week, simply by watching television.
At all the Super Bowls, they would let cameras come in just for the first couple of minutes to get what they call B-roll before you practice. And I was watching just a local sports station, and it had the B-roll of Buffalo warming up. And I saw Jim Kelly taking the football without anybody else other than Thurman Thomas and pitching it like a shuffle pass. And it looked to me like they were actually practicing the pitch. And so I went back to my defensive coordinator, Butch Davis. I said, Butch, have they run the shuffle pass? I don't recall seeing it on any of the game film. And we went all the way back through. They hadn't run the shuffle pass all year long. As it turns out, I think they ran it like 3 times. They ended up stopping for losses. And actually got a fumble, one of the biggest plays in the ball game.
Kelly with a shovel pass to Thomas and fumble! Thurman Thomas fumbled the ball and stripped of it coming forward on that shovel pass. And the Cowboys have claimed a fumble. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man.
So just by luck, I was watching television and able to pick up the shuffle pass. I told Jim Kelly about it years later, and I had a laugh. He didn't laugh very much.
Despite their tactical advantage, The Cowboys produced only 2 field goals by halftime and trailed 13-6.
But nobody was panicking. Jimmy seemed pretty calm.
At halftime, normally I really wouldn't be involved in a lot of the adjustments, but I stood up in front of the offense before we took the field the second half and said, hey, guys, here's what we're going to do. We'll make some adjustments on our little counter play to Emmitt, and we're going to take the ball, we're going to receive the kickoff, we're going to take it down the field, we're going to jam it down their throats, and we're going to play physical football and get back in this game.
And I'm like, okay, get it to me. We came out of that locker room like gangbusters.
We felt like that if we're going to get back in the game, it had to be with Emmitt because Troy wasn't at his best. And that's exactly what we did. We fed it to Emmitt and took it down the field.
The Cowboys gave the ball to Smith 7 times on an 8-play drive.
Smith for 9, Smith for 3, Smith for 8, Smith for 7. Smith, tackles the breaks away to the 10, to the 5, touchdown Emmitt Smith. Oh, what a run by the league's MVP.
He was hit in the backfield. He was going to go down. Almost all backs would have gone down. And the Cowboys have turned this game dramatically.
In that moment, the game was over. We never gave Buffalo a chance to truly settle back in. From that point on, we hit them with a flurry of shots. It was like a boxer closing out a knockout.
4th and goal at the 1. Blitz, pitch left to Smith, blocked from Johnston. Touchdown, Emmitt Smith.
With 132 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns, Emmitt Smith was named the Super Bowl MVP. And the Cowboys again were crowned world champions.
2 in a row. How sweet it is. Yeah. Back to back, baby. Back to back, baby. Back, baby. Cowboys back to back in the half. Yeah.
Emmitt, we had a special relationship. So when he messes up my hair, we laughed about it and everything. I said, hey, you can mess it up anytime we win a Super Bowl.
It was a game like their year. They started 0-2. They were in deep ruts. Everybody said they couldn't do it. Well, guess what? Dallas, your Cowboys are still champions.
It was everything that I wanted it to be and more. And after that game, I made sure that I found the Lombardi Trophy, and I would not let go of it. I wanted to cherish that moment because, gosh, I didn't know if I was going to be back there again.
I think everybody's kind of gotten a kick out of Jimmy and Jerry and thinking that we were at each other's throats. When you win these kind of things, the only thing you're going to do at each other's throat is hug it.
Jimmy Johnson and Jerry Jones stood on the winner's podium for the 2nd straight year. It was the last time they would stand there together. Johnson's tenure as the Cowboys head coach ended 2 months later. The Dallas Cowboys celebrated another Super Bowl victory. But the long road to their 2nd championship had taken its toll.
Winning the first Super Bowl was, obviously you're ecstatic after that. Winning the second one, it was almost like something that we had to do. It was a little bit of a relief. Obviously you're happy about it and you're enthusiastic and on, but it was a grind that season.
Grind or not, there was talk of a dynasty in Dallas. Everyone was thinking about a three-peat. Everyone except Jimmy Johnson.
In fact, Peter King Sports Illustrated was in the limo with me after the ball game and asked, he said, hey, you've got to come back because you went 3 in a row. It's automatic Hall of Fame. And I said, Peter, I said, I can't answer that. And he said, you've got to answer whether or not you're coming back or not. And I said, now's not the time. I don't really know if I'm going to come back. I knew that I needed to get away, pull back a little bit. I was looking forward to going fishing down in the Keys.
Did you think you were going right back?
Oh, yes. There was no doubt in my mind. I felt like we had the ball club to go right back there and win another one. All of a sudden, something happened that threw everybody for a loop in the spring. The rumor has it, our head coach, Jimmy Johnson, and our owner happened to be in Orlando at the bar having some drinks. It might have been a little tipsy. That's the rumor. Here I am spreading more lies and more rumors, maybe. All of a sudden, they get on the wrong page. And words were said, and a couple days later, your owner's on the tube saying that Jimmy Johnson's no longer going to be our head coach.
We have mutually decided that I would no longer be the head football coach with the Dallas Cowboys.
And nobody could figure out why.
This isn't something that has been just frivolously thought about. We have analyzed this from stem to stern.
People want to make a big to-do about it was Jerry and I, bickering and fighting. And more than anything else, I was ready to move on. I'd really never coached anywhere longer than 5 years, and so we'd had success. We'd won back-to-back Super Bowls, and I wanted to do something else. I'd even had it in my calendar the day that I was going to leave the Dallas Cowboys. As it turned out, I left maybe a month earlier, but I had plans all along to leave.
Whether he left for himself or because of Jerry Jones or both, Jimmy Johnson was no longer the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, and the players had trouble accepting it.
I never thought it would come. Did I ever think it would come to that? How can you just won your second straight Super Bowl within 5 years of owning the organization. Fancy that. Then fancy firing the guy that just won, that led you to the 2 of them, that helped turn this whole thing around. No, I couldn't understand it, and I still don't.
We've gone through a little transition here, well, maybe it's a big transition, but hey, the Dallas Cowboys will be right on top.
I wish that all of us wish, hey, what could have been if the Dallas Cowboys had Jimmy Johnson as the head coach? Would we have moved on to win our 3rd Super Bowl in a row? We definitely felt like we were going to be 3-peats and 4-peats.
The franchise that Jimmy Johnson helped turn around won another Super Bowl in 1995. But they would never again be as dominant as they were in Johnson's last year in Dallas. Those Cowboys survived injuries, a holdout, and a power struggle. On their way to a 2nd straight Super Bowl title, they overcame a year of distractions to once again ascend football's highest summit.
For additional video content, photo galleries, and more from America's Game, visit NFL.com/America's Game.
Little bounce to you, little bounce to you. Looking good, feeling good. Russ, how are you doing today? Romping, stomping, raring to go? How about it, Darren? Did some nice things yesterday. There's not a lot of differences in college football and pro football. You're still trying to motivate people to be the best they can be. And that's how I approach it. Nice and smooth, nice and catch that football, Jason. Come on, Judd. Get the handoff. Now you got to protect that damn football. Come on, Judd. Come on, Judd. Bear down. Concentration. Concentration. Whether I be a coach or a player or a secretary or a trainer, I want everybody to be the best that they can be. And the way that I can do that, I work with each individual. Wrap him up. Hold on to him there, Chad. Here you go. Nice job of collapsing on it, Chad, but you got to wrap him up. You got to hold him. That's the way to run through an arm tackle there, Judd. That's the way to run through an arm tackle. Good, good. If you're America's team, you don't want to be a so-so team. You want to be the best. Let's get it going. Let's get some work done now. Let's get some work done. All right, right there, right there, right there. Let's see what you got. All right, all right, all right. Good job, Cat. Good job, Cat. All right. Nice penetration, Cat. That it? Break, break, break.
I used to jog with all my assistant coaches, and we were just kind of discussing, well, how could we get better in a hurry? Because the way the league is designed, it was very difficult to turn a team around just by drafting. There wasn't free agency at that time. And so I said, what do we have that anybody wants? And we didn't have a very good team. We had one Pro Bowl player, and that was Herschel Walker. I kind of just threw it out there, well, what if we traded Herschel Walker? And of course, all my offensive coaches got all irritated. They didn't like the idea at all. But I did play around with the idea. Then I received a phone call from Ernie Accorsi, who was with the Cleveland Browns. And Ernie said that they were very close to winning a championship. They needed one great player. They needed Herschel Walker. And we talked about a possible trade. I went and talked to Jerry. I said, here's the trade that I have laid out on the table. It's an extremely good trade. We ought to make it, but we should see if we could better it. I said, you pick a few of the teams and you call them. I know certain people, I'll call them. And we'll just see if somebody wants to top this offer. As it turned out, I talked to Mike Lynn with the Minnesota Vikings, and he faxed me a proposal. I liked, tweaked it a little bit, and we made history.
Never dreamt that we would be in the Super Bowl that soon, but the experience was unbelievable.
Oh, you got butterflies on this. That's big, man. It is big. It's awfully bright out here. Oh, yeah. It's a lot of damn people, huh?
6 years prior to me being at that Super Bowl, me and my best friend from high school were sitting up in the stadium watching the Giants play the Denver Broncos. And I recall sharing with him one of these days I was going to play in the Super Bowl, and it was going to be in that stadium. Little did I know, 6 years later, I'd be sitting in Pasadena, California, in the Rose Bowl Stadium, playing against the Buffalo Bills in my very first Super Bowl, let alone winning it.
Cuts to the 5, turning at the 1, touchdown, Emmitt Smith! Touchdown, Cowboys!
So it was a tremendous experience for me.
Believe me, practicing against those guys was it made everybody better.
How about it, Troy?
Troy could throw the ball on a dime. Stick out your hand, the other guy sticks out his hand, and here comes that ball whistling in. Michael Irvin, the ability to create separation. We covered him so many different times during practice that you knew his route, you knew his moves, but he just had that way of pushing his hip into you or pushing his elbow into you to make a little separation for Troy to get the ball in there. According to Michael, it was all legal.
I don't know that I've ever had a player, a single player, that set the work ethic and the tempo for our practices and had the passion for the game like Michael Irvin.
All day, we don't stop, all right? All the 60 damn minutes, plus a few more for this extra minute. Let's go.
Michael was the spirit in terms of the fire, the intensity, the competitive spirit that you need. Troy was pretty much the decision maker, and he didn't make many bad choices. I had the drive and the heart to go push far beyond what anyone could possibly think of.
Oh, what a run by the league's MVP!
I don't know that at that period of time that we could have had any player in the league that could have contributed more than any one of those three.
Got his man at the 40, and he's breaking away. Michael Irvin to the 20. It's a foot race to the 5. It is a 61-yard touchdown for Michael Irvin from Troy Aikman. Esiason 3 steps, throws to his right. Kevin Smith intercepts the left sideline. 20, 10, touchdown, Kevin Smith.
We had the game won, and they were trying to score, and so we blitzed them a few times and sacked them and hit the quarterback. And I thought that's kind of what you were supposed to do. And so I'm going off the field, and I was going to shake his hand and tell him good luck, et cetera. And he was ranting and raving at me because I hit his quarterback and I was blitzing him when the game was won. And I said, Bruce, I don't understand. You were trying to score, and we were trying to keep you from scoring. I don't understand. I mean, if y'all had taken a knee, we wouldn't have blitzed.
That was a theme that Jimmy brought into the locker room and cemented in stone that we're out here trying to win the game, not trying to make other people happy.
Sharp now, man, sharp. Good job, Alvin. Isn't he pretty? He's dangerous now. Yeah. And he's going to be bigger and taller than anybody he faces.
It's caught. What a catch for Alvin Harper.
Those hands are worth a lot. A whole lot. You're going to see what they're worth today. Deep. Real deep.
Aikman back to throw. Good protection. Deep to the post. Harper. Touchdown.
Hey. This is what we practice for. This is what we play for. The kick butt. We're going to send them back to New York. Man.
Welcome to RFK.
That's right. Well, it's going to be major capital punishment. Why do we have to go all across the United States and whoop butt? Why don't they just come on and bring every game to Dallas so they can lose in Dallas?
1st and 10. Aikman a deep drop. Fake. Throws it to Harper. Touchdown.
Man, I don't know why Green Bay want to come down here and scrimmage us. They should have left that mess up there in, where they from? Madison, Wisconsin? What do you call this place? The Atlanta Dome? The Georgia Dome? It's going to be Cowboy Dome after we finish today, baby. That's what I've been begging for, man. Just regular, let me run by his ass. I'm telling you, I can go right by his ass. Any one of them. Any one of them.
Aikman back, sets, pump, deep ball to the post.
Just let Alvin Harper play in the postseason because he's been spectacular.
He has been. Hey, we will win, baby. Put it in 3-inch letters. We will win.
There have been times I've been a little bit tight, but most of the time, I tell you, most of the time I'm off by myself. I mean, most of the time I don't chit-chat with anybody. I kind of wander around the field. Before the Super Bowl, I bet you I walked that field for 2.5 hours without saying anything to anybody. I just want an ugly win, somehow, some way.
Alvin, I was like, block that guy on that sweep. You just stand there fiddle fighting with him. Go ahead and block his ass.
I thought we were a little bit sloppy there at times, but Atlanta's got a talented team. Well, we were sloppy in our play. We've got to get a lot sharper than that. I kind of got blinders on.
Really?
I got one sport. Now, in the off season, I'll see a boxing match.
Hey, the ball could get loose down there. It could be loose. You'll scramble around, get after the damn football. Get out there and grind on it now. Grind them. You're that close to really getting something back going.
Do I wear my Super Bowl ring on the sideline? I wear it under my gloves.
Let me see that ring.
I figured as hard as we work for that, why take it off just for a football game?
We got some Cowboy fans here at RFK. Here he goes. Hey! Everywhere we go there, they follow us. Isn't it nice to be loved?
Great effort by everybody. And when I say everybody, I mean everybody. The players, all 47 of you, the coaches, you worked very hard for this. Just so that there's not any confusion, the way we got here was through hard work, right? All right? We'll see you tomorrow.
Hey,
Game ain't no different.
You got to be big to play in big games.
Yeah, big players play in big games.
Hey, turnovers and touchdowns, and we take it on to the house.
I'm ready for some football, baby. Rock and roll. What time is it? It's party time. What time is it? Party time. What time is it? It's party time.
You can and you will because you believe you can and you know you will. Win. 1, 2, 3. Win. Let's go.
Hey, tell 29 to go get back on that Lucky Charm box. Tell 29 to get back on that Lucky Charm box. There's a leprechaun man out there.
He didn't even get a jam on me. They just let me run down the field. And what's his name? What's his safety? I don't know his damn name. He was in on you. I'm out there by myself.
Hey, guys, the pressure off the corner is outstanding. Keep fighting them inside, guys.
Nice job, guys. We got to play our ass off now till we get control of this game. Hey, we got to play until we get control of this game, baby. Let's go. Play off. Keep playing. We will play for 4 quarters right to the end.
Tell him what you're doing to Jerry Rice. You ain't doing nothing.
I own Jerry Rice. I own Jerry.
Own him.
Atlanta. We're on our way back. Why not?
That's history for you. The first team to go 0-2 and go to the Super Bowl. Take that with you.
I love you, baby. Super Bowl. Super Bowl.
Hot to the ball.
I'm going to have it. Turn around.
Back to back, baby. Back to back, baby.
When it comes to surprises, the Dallas Cowboys made a lot of experts look silly by rebounding in a big way from a disastrous 1989 season. The Cowboys' amazing transformation was engineered by head coach Jimmy Johnson.
On February 25, 1989, the unthinkable happened. A pro football legend was fired. And for the first time in their glorious history, the Dallas Cowboys were coached by someone other than Tom Landry.
I'm proud to be the head football coach for the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm excited to be the head football coach for the Dallas Cowboys. I know that there could have been better circumstances as far as me coming into this position.
While Landry was master of the universe, the empire of Jimmy Johnson was a shambles, as the horrid state of America's team would have made any mere mortal nervous. 1989 was the second worst season in Cowboy history, as they remained locked in the shadows while others danced into the limelight. In 1 year, Johnson lost more games than he had in his entire career with the Miami Hurricanes.
There was a big change from last year. Last year, it was kind of like it was Jimmy Johnson and the Dallas Cowboys. Now I think it's the Dallas Cowboys. He understands that, we want to win just as bad as he does.
If you're a worker, he'll work with you. If you're lazy, always, doing something wrong, blowing assignments, he's not. He's hard-nosed. I mean, he's a cutthroat type of guy when you deal with him on the wrong side.
Determined to get on the right side of victory, the Cowboys vowed to never again be the NFL's whipping boy. Johnson drove, pushed, and bullied the team in 1990. But even under his lash, the Cowboys failed to respond.
Aikman in the shotgun. He must be looking forward to this. Low snap, pulls it up, standing, dumps it over the middle, tipped in the air and intercepted by Lawrence Taylor at the 10, and strolling in for the Giants' touchdown.
While the team seemed to be lip-syncing to last season's sad song, everyone wondered if these were the real Cowboys or the Milli Vanilli version, imposters posing as football players. Every Sunday was an execution with Johnson walking the last mile.
When you got a team that's 3-7 and looking to, hey, let's just pack it in. This season is over and everybody start looking forward towards next year. This man comes in and he keep you focused on the next game at 3-7 when you're like, we're just here.
Be under control. Be under control. Keep those hands up. Looking at me.
Players want to play for him because he believes in you, and he makes you believe in him, and he makes you enjoy playing for him.
sometimes in the fourth quarter when it's like 4th and 1, 4th and inches to go, and you're all tired and you're beat up.
Top up, go cha-cha!
The guys are willing to go that extra mile for the coach.
Testaverde back 3 steps, throws it out right. It's intercepted by Holdout down the left sideline. To the 40, to the 30, to the 20, to the 10 with a cut. Touchdown! That's how they score. The defense does it.
Come on, make a play, baby.
And Aikman 5 steps, throwing for Urban, left corner of the end zone. He caught it. It's an unbelievable catch.
You have those late night meeting plays.
Yeah, right.
You can always try
this. This one's pretty good.
You turn on the film and somehow you got some wild ass play and you say, they put that one in 11 o'clock at night.
Johnson's judgment to draft Emmitt Smith was not an 11th hour decision.
Now it's Emmitt Smith time.
But the rookie runner helped to salvage the season at the stroke of midnight.
35 to 30. He'll never beat Green. There's the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Emmitt Smith.
The Cowboys burst into playoff contention by winning 4 games in a row. Once they accomplished this feat routinely, but then their roster was a who's who of pro football.
We're the only NFC team that did not have a Pro Bowl player, and yet the teams above us that have more wins than us, they all have 4 or 5 Pro Bowl players.
Somebody's got to beat a guy.
That says something about the intensity of this football team.
Just expect to come free and no one pick you up. You got to swim them, rip them, and you almost got there, but we got to go with the urgency, a little more urgency on the blitz.
The Cowboys' defense torched and burned, but the team was fueled by the fire and brimstone of their coach.
I think the main thing is a motivator.
Everybody's into it. Started off right.
He comes in and says the right things at the right time.
If you're trying to pound in their head some thought, at times they almost stonewall you and say, hey, wait, I'm smart enough to know where I am.
A dream season turned nightmarish when quarterback Troy Aikman separated his shoulder. In the final week, the pocket collapsed, and so did their playoff hopes. In 1990, Jimmy Johnson took the Dallas Cowboys from rock bottom to within sight of the top of the NFL. For this, he is a man who made the season and the master of all he surveys.